Coming up on Listen Lissa.
Enjoy your toxic relationship. I think that's the one with you. Oh, look in the mirror. Okay. Wow. She shows her true colors again here. That's, oh my. I can't believe her. I despise this person. She does need to get a police report, and she needs to punish her mother to the fullest extent. Her mom says,
Hey, listen!
Hey babes, welcome back to Listen Lissa. I'm your host, Alyssa. How's it going? We're going to round out the end of this Hailey and Madre saga, and one more update, read a few relevant comments, and give you my final take on it. I know it's been a bumpy ride, especially for Hailey. I can't even imagine. Let's see how this ends. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So where we left off in part 1 of the update. So if you remember in the second round of updates, we had the last message being her Madre starting to say,
My mom is wonderful, but she's effed up herself.
so not sure where she was going to go with that. I think she was going to compliment her mom. We're going to kind of speed through these. Now I'm going to do my best to shut my mouth and not give commentary every time she says something insane, because we know she's going to do that every single time. So I'm just going to hold my comments and let you hear the story as it unfolds, okay? I'm going to do my best. Madre says,
My mom is wonderful, but she's effed up herself and doesn't address it. So side with her. She's amazing, I get it.
I don't recall there being a beef with the grandma at all. As far as I know,
I'm gonna do my
even
best
when the
to
shut my
Madre
mouth. I said I wasn't going to do this. I'm sorry. Okay, I don't know why she's saying this comment about grandma. That's all I'm saying. Because last time, Madre, when they were talking about her grandma, she was just like,
Yeah, she gives me money, so what?
there's no, what does she mean take her side? There's no sides. I don't understand. So this is just another testament to how there's always this invisible battle going on. Like, she's fighting everyone. This is common with people with the type B personality disorders. They always think they're in this battle with people, but it's just an invisible battle in their brain. They're making up these battles. These people aren't trying to fight them. They're creating these battles, and then they just make them happen. Because she alludes to this sides thing. There's no sides because there's no battle. Hailey says,
I'm not siding with her at all.
Madre says,
You know she ran away at 15 and didn't talk to her mom for many years. Her offering me money isn't the solution. It's you taking accountability. It's you communicating. It's you not treating me like all I am is poop.
Hailey says,
Was simply saying, if you're really that effed over this month, I know Grandma offered to help while I can get my stuff figured out.
Madre says,
And if you feel that way, then get the F out of my life. You are not listening then. It has nothing to do with me being effed over this month. It's about you.
is it?
You are ignoring accountability.
Hailey then says,
Feel what way? I don't even feel like we're having the same conversation anymore.
absolutely right.
I haven't ignored anything.
And so I just want to call out what happened right there. I don't want anybody to miss it, so that you can notice these patterns if they're happening in relationships in your life ever. What this type of person will do, they get to a place where they're kind of cornered in a certain conversation where they couldn't win the argument because it was blatantly obvious, and even to them, and even with all their tactics, that they were sounding stupid. And then Hailey, she wasn't buying her crap. It was not working. So then what she did was a swift change to what they were even talking about. So once it was like, I've given you a solution for this problem that you're complaining about. You're so inconvenienced by me. I'm such a problem because I haven't paid you back. Because you need this money. She wants Hailey to feel bad. She wants Hailey to feel terrible, like she's a bad person. And so when Hailey solves the problem,
Grandma offered you money.
she has to quickly make it about something else. Because
Oh, no. You're also a bad person because of this. You haven't taken accountability.
it's like, that's the cycle with these people, is that they will never stop. They will never stop. Never. Not never, I guess. Like some of them maybe. Not commonly. Okay? Madre says,
I disagree, but that's fine. Enjoy your space free from the terrors of me.
thank you.
Love you lots. Sorry it had to end like this. Let me know when you're ready to do this the right way.
In parentheses,
via Facebook or email, mail, drop by my place, work, wherever. You know where to find me.
Hailey says.
Okay, love you too.
Hailey? I'm done. I love it. And that brings us to our final update. Woo! This was posted in Insane Parents. It was posted 3 days after the previous update, and it is titled Update Part 3 of My Toxic Mom. It got 951 upvotes and 266 comments. You know who starts. It was yesterday at 10:54 p.m. She says, "Are you alive?" And then nothing until 4:40 a.m. And then she says again, "Are you alive?" And then downward spiral, okay? It goes, "No reason you can't answer me, Hailey. I do not appreciate you not responding. Very hurtful. Please respond ASAP. I will assume you are dead and do a wellness check and all the things. Answer me. Stop ignoring me. I would have a freaking heart attack. You need to respond to me. I need to know you are okay. If I don't hear from you by noon, I'll assume you're dead and call the cops. You will text me every damn day." My God. That is an alarming text. That is an alarming text. I don't like it. You will. That is what it says. That would frighten me to my loins. I don't like it at all. You will text me every damn day. That's what it says. Ooh. That's scary. She says, "No reason you can't stay in touch. I'm very hurt that you'd just ignore me. I also want an update on the money." Mind you, the last time they spoke, she was very clear that she would not have the money by now. Very clear about it. They spoke about it numerous of times. So why this needed to happen at 4:40 in the morning, no one knows but Madre. She keeps going. She says, "I also want an update on the money from CJ, or I'll start legal action today. Thank you." But like, you might be dead. I'm so worried. But like, also, where's my money? I want to hear from you. I want my car keys so I can sell your car. Lady, are you worried, or do you just want all your crap again? I want you to respond to me by noon, or I'm shutting your phone off. This one's so insufferable. Got it. Great. Leave me alone now. I would totally block her. Thank you. Lots of use. Hope you're not dead. I hate her. Then she says, "I'm also going to start packing your crap up tonight. If I don't hear any updates from you, I'll either throw your crap out or pack it away." The next shot is a screenshot of Hailey's background on her phone screen, her home screen, when her phone is in lock mode, and it shows 2 missed calls, and it says 4:50 a.m. So that means that Hailey took this picture when the phone calls came in, approximately. So like about 10 minutes later. So she probably got woken up by these phone calls, and it's so funny. Okay, so this is hilarious. The full name that she has her mom stored in her phone as is Madre, my spawn point. Yikes. It's fair. It's fair. It's fair. There's 2 missed calls from her. So then at 10:42 a.m., Hailey responds. She says, "I'm alive. I didn't mean to not respond. When we called a few days ago, I thought I answered most of these questions. I don't really know what to say right now at this time. As for your camping stuff, as far as I'm aware, I got everything out." Madre answers back, "Okay, so if you are not coming home, I want my keys so I can sell the car. I will also be turning everything else off, cutting off, because there's no reason you don't come home. Also, no reason you can't respond. Also, no reason this big, strong man of yours, who's keeping you all nice and safe and cozy, can't start paying me back." Ooh, she's jealous. She's jelly. She's so jealous. She sounds like I hate her. Wow. She's jealous. She's jealous that Hailey has someone in her life that loves her. Very, very jealous. Oof. That comment was massively gross. I hate it. She says, "Essentially, get your A home by tonight, or I'm cutting everything off." I love how every time she says it like it's the first time she said it. Essentially. Also, I hate it. She says the same crap that she always says. "I want the money and get your A home." Okay, I'm just skipping because it's ridiculous at this point. Small claims, get home, enough of this. I'm not going to pay your bills when you're not talking to me or at home. Get your A home by today or everything's off. Same, nothing new. Hailey says,
I told you already by the end of the month. And I've told you you're more than welcome to cut the stuff off, but it's been a day since we both agreed we needed space. Over the call, I thought.
And then Madre says,
That was Saturday, more than a day, sweetheart.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Ugh.
You've had weeks. Get home today or everything's getting cut off. If you're not home, I want my keys, all of them.
Hailey says,
Okay, but then why did you offer me the car on Saturday? Not even trying to argue, just definitely confused.
Madre says,
That was days ago. You didn't respond and haven't gotten the car. So I'm assuming you don't need it. So I want the keys so I can sell it and turn off the insurance. CJ will take care of you. Use his car. I'm sick of this.
jealous, very jealous. People like this, they get really discouraging of your healthy relationships. They don't like anyone that's supportive of you and giving you the proper care and friendship and a real relationship like they should be giving you, because if you have that support, then you aren't controllable. And that's what they're seeking. They're always seeking control and ownership. You're like an object to them. And when someone treats you right, then you know that the way that they're treating you is not good. And then you're not going to be controllable because you have these other options. So they really don't like this. They really don't like it. It's happened to me a lot. My relationship with my brother was very discouraged often because he was an outlet. He was someone that would come over and visit me and spend time with me when I was being completely neglected. And even though that time was not being spent on me, it was a problem. He made it a problem and acted like that was something that was harming our relationship, and like I was spending too much time. It was ridiculous. Hailey says,
That's an unfair assumption because I didn't text for one day and we did call and stuff, but okay.
So it sounds like Madre is negating a call that happened in between the texts and saying that a lot of days went by, like a few days went by, like 1 or 2, I think it was. But there also was a call in between there that Hailey's referring to that Madre is sweeping past. Madre's getting upset. She says,
Get your A home tonight or get me my keys and everything will get shut off. It was 2 days.
There you go. Warranted reason to freak out then. Absolutely. You got it, Madre.
It's a completely fair assumption.
Who lied to you? She said,
I want you home tonight or my keys. Which one will it be? I'd rather you just come home and knock this crap off.
Hailey repeats what she's been saying.
I don't feel comfy coming back. On the basis of it being a threat, ultimatum. On Saturday, you also agreed space would be good. I don't understand where the switchback is coming from.
Madre does not want to hear any of that logic. She just wants her way. So she gets right back into it.
So you're not coming back tonight? Alrighty, get me my keys then. I'll get your stuff shut off in an hour.
We've heard that before.
She said, I explained my logic. Your flawed logic. Sorry you weren't available or didn't feel the need to respond to me. I don't have to explain anymore.
She's a puppet to her, and she needs to respond at any given time that Madre's feeling needy and clingy and in need of attention, and she's so annoying.
No, you haven't explained this switch besides that you're annoyed that I didn't answer.
Hailey, she needs to just give up. Madre says,
It's get your A home today or get me my keys today. I did. You are welcome to come home tonight and we can chat.
She doesn't want to chat with you, so you can just hurt her again. Hailey says,
I can't magically get there to get you your keys today, but when I go to get everything else, I can drop them off.
Madre says,
Otherwise, I want my keys. I'll sell the car, turn everything off.
ugh. The way she repeats herself so much, I just want to skip it. Here we go.
And your big, strong felon boyfriend can take care of you.
Jealous. That should be alarming to me, but I know these type of people, and that just, like, I take it with a grain of salt. She's exaggerating something most likely, and if not, I mean, there's probably some type of explanation, but there's no reason to throw that out there. There's no reason, except for to be petty. She's being petty again, as usual.
I want my keys today or I'll file a police report. I want my keys today. So you're not coming home? All right.
Who texts like this? So you're not coming home? All right, same text. Hailey says,
I can't get them to you by today.
Madre says,
I'll pack your crap up, put it in storage, and turn your stuff off. All right, then I'll be going to the police station to file a report.
Hailey says,
Has that question not been answered 10 times since I've left? You agreed we needed space apart too.
Madre says,
That's great.
Hailey says,
Why am I all of a sudden being threatened back into the home?
Madre says,
I told you I wanted you home tonight now. Because I said so.
ooh. She's getting very testy. She's getting very out of control. She's really mad that she's not getting her way. Very mad. Because I said so. Oof. Madre says,
I have a job and too busy to explain this to you.
of course. Because it doesn't make any sense. There's no explanation for it whatsoever.
Be home by tonight or get me my keys tonight. And you've changed your mind a bunch of times. It's unfair to me to have to follow changing rules.
Here's the crux of it all. Madre says,
You abandoning me is unfair.
you kicked her out. You yelled at her to get the F out so many times. And then, before that, you kicked her out. And you physically assaulted her. So, it's interesting how you think it's abandonment. But we know how this goes. Hailey says,
You also said to GTFO multiple times, yes, you are my mom, but that doesn't mean you can threaten me into submission.
Madre says,
You and CJ not paying me is unfair.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the?
Hailey says,
I'm not abandoning you.
Madre says,
Your ridiculousness and stubbornness is unfair.
having you as a mom is unfair. Boop. Sorry. She says,
That's fine. I'm done with this conversation. Be home tonight or get my keys. No keys, I'll call the cops. Turning your stuff off.
oh. That's what she sounds like right now. Hailey says,
I haven't abandoned you. I told you I need space. You agreed. It's clear we need it. The threats aren't going to make anything any better or make anything faster.
Madre says,
That's fine. Turning your stuff off.
she's gotta, somewhere in her warped mind, she's gotta think that's gonna work or something. Because why would you keep doing it if you didn't think it's gonna work? She's like, so out of touch with reality. And she says, Lord.
Good talk. Want my keys. Filing a report tonight. Don't touch the car. Have the best time living with CJ and his mom. I'll start legal action against him also. I'll leave you be. Have the best life, Hailey.
Then she says,
Please talk to my mom to get your credit card paid off.
here come the jabs that are just for no other reason than she's a petty bee that didn't win the argument because she has no valid point. So here she goes.
You are completely ridiculous and delusional for maxing that out. Not paying and ignoring it.
I definitely did that at 18, actually. Absolutely did. I was like, I am rich. I am a rich. Swipe, swipe. So bad. I've been there. Growing pains. Having a mom like this, that would be so much more painful. Having them rub it in your face then. She says,
Please take care of it. You literally dropped the ball so hard there. At least fix one thing with your free time. Or don't. I don't care. I won't worry about your taxes since you aren't, or your medical bills. We'll just throw them in all your crap to pick up whenever you float this way.
she says,
My solution was space. With
here's the answer.
My solution was space with you at the apartment. I wanted us to have some space while you're still in my space. What did you not understand about that? We can have our own space.
Be in my space, though. There's this movie that my son used to watch. He used to want to watch it every single freaking day when he was really little, like 4 years old. It's called Paranorman. And Paranorman, or Norman, he's kind of like a little bit weird because he talks to dead people. That's what the movie's about. So the other kids don't really like him that much. They think he's really weird. And there's this one kid that is his friend who's also kind of a little bit of an outcast at the school. And he starts like taking an interest in Norman, and he wants to hang out with them, and he's like following him around. And there's one part in the movie where he follows Norman all the way home, and Norman's just like, I think I need some alone time to myself. And then his friend is like,
Okay, can I have alone time with you?
let's do alone time together, or something like that. And it was so cute. Just his like eagerness to like want to spend all his time with him. And it was adorable. It's not adorable here at all. It's not adorable, but it just reminded me of that. Ah, yikes.
Your stubbornness and ignorance is astounding.
There we go with that line again. And an even more ridiculous part of her texting, she throws that in there. It's ironic that it is her ignorance that is astounding to write such a thing. She says,
I don't want you gone or living with CJ.
I can tell.
Get your A home or I'm cutting everything off.
We know.
Or don't. I don't care.
I think you do. A lot. You care a lot.
Enjoy your toxic relationship.
I think that's the one with you. Oh, look in the mirror. Oh. Wow. She shows her true colors again here. That's, oh my. I can't believe her. I despise this person. She does need to get a police report, and she needs to punish her mother to the fullest extent. Her mom says, when he beats you, please call me. I'll always come get you. Love you lots. The multiple levels to how harmful that is. The multiple levels to the disgustingness of that text. I don't know if Madre was ever abused by, she says that she was by her brother. The fact that she would go to that and say that. Hailey's never indicated, she's indicated from all accounts that her boyfriend is very loving, very much there for her. There hasn't been any sign of a bad relationship here, and he clearly took her into his home. So, that's vile. And to say that as someone who has assaulted this young woman already as her mom. You have some nerve. You have some kind of nerve, ma'am. Gross. This page has the same text that we had just read, but it has them slid over so you can see how fast they all came in. So real quick. 11:07 a.m. Or your medical bills. 11:07 a.m. still. We'll just throw them in all your crap to pick up whenever you float this way. 11:11 a.m. My solution was space. With you at the apartment, your stubbornness and ignorance is astounding. Still 11:11 a.m. I don't want you gone or living with CJ. Still 11:11 a.m. Get your A home or I'm cutting everything off. Still 11:11 a.m. Or don't. I don't care. Enjoy your toxic relationship. Still 11:11 a.m., guys. When he beats you. Please call me. I'll always come and get you. Love you lots. You don't. You don't love anyone but yourself, and you're selfish. Oh, okay, whatever. This isn't love. The next one comes in at 11:14. She gave her 3 minutes of a break. That was kind.
Did you get these or are you just ignoring me?
I'm sorry, but at this point I have to commend Hailey, and I'd like to think that I would be the same, but I feel like the only thing that could possibly come back at my mother at this point, I love you, Mom, I would never say this to you, would be F off. F you. Like, what? She follows up with,
I never know with you. It's really lame, actually.
You're really lame. You're very lame. Hailey says, at 11:15. So her texts aren't taking too long. She says,
what am I even supposed to say?
Valid. Ugh. Madre answers that question. She says,
yeah, Mom, I'll get my credit card I effed up on fixed. Thanks for caring. I'll handle my taxes. I don't care. Whatever your heart feels compelled to respond, but when you ignore, I just don't know if you didn't get it or are just ignoring.
Why don't you take a chill pill and learn how to regulate your own self? She says,
which is fine, but don't ignore the person who pays all your bills and phone.
Parentheses.
Not anymore, though.
Oh, well, then I don't need to answer you. Bye. Hailey says,
I'm reading it, just don't know what to say.
And then Madre says,
are you okay with living with CJ and his mom? Are you okay with your choices?
I think that's the end of it. Let's see. Okay, nope, this is the last. This is the last of it. The same day, she posts this in the subreddit r text that has 729 upvotes and 444 comments. And it's called "Y'all are probably sick of me, but hopefully the end of my toxic mom saga." On this update, Hailey did provide us with a little bit of context to clear up some of the questions she'd been getting in the comments. So one was, I've paid her back minus this month because of being kicked out. 2, kicked out for forgetting to take Kat to the vet appointment. Came home when she asked me to. She was on a drug and she tried to put her hands about my neck and stop my airways 2 times. 3, my boyfriend is a felon because he got caught with a 420 cart. Feel how you will, not my judgment, but I partake, and so does my mom, so it's slightly ironic she used that. 4, she has the car, I just didn't realize I had the key. I am now 2 hours away. 5, my boyfriend is not abusive. She throws it out there when she feels out of control to make me respond or get heated. And 6, I think that's it. I'm more than willing to answer questions. So those messages were sent 11 whatever. And the timestamps on the screenshots were in 11 something as well. And then these start at 12:07 with the first screenshot. And it's Madre talking again. It seems like Hailey may have answered the last question, but it doesn't show her answer. I would guess she said she is happy with her choices probably. Because Madre then writes this.
That's great. My stress will be lessened without having to pay all your bills. So you can email or Facebook message me whenever you want to talk and I won't ignore you. Smiley face.
Hailey says,
Okay.
good job. Here goes Madre.
Getting a job? Are you happy with your choices? Happy living with CJ and his mom? What are you doing to better your mental health?
What are you doing to better yours? Ugh. This gaslighting is out of this world. This projection. This is... I hate it. She says,
What's making it magically so much better? I know it isn't just me, and I'm sick of being your scapegoat.
you're not the goat. If you're any type of goat, you're the old, like, grumpy goat on the hill. The mean one. The one that's mad, that's guarding the house thing. That's the thing on the mountain. Maybe those goats that, like, walk on the sides. And they probably are very stressed because they could fall. You're that freaking goat. That's what you are. Madre says,
Is this what you want?
ugh.
Do you understand I was suggesting space? But not with you at CJ's or in blank city. Do you?
She didn't give a crap what you're suggesting, lady. Hailey says,
Working on it. I'm happy with my choice.
yes. Shouldn't say that to her, though. Sorry.
Don't know when I ever said I'd permanently be living here. Never said it was just you, but getting away has helped a lot. Yes, I want space. And I get that, but me being there wouldn't have given us any space at all.
Clearly. Madre says,
Just want to point out that that incident happened almost a month ago, and I haven't seen a penny from you.
this is why you have to block this person. They will harass you relentlessly, no matter, like, even if they know the day you're going to pay them, they will harass you every day up to that day. I've had it happen.
That's why I'm cutting you off.
Is that why? Is that why? Here we go. This is how she's going to go out. Okay. This is typical. This is typical. I'm not trying to say that I can relate to how she must feel with this being her mother, because that's different. Pain is relative, but you have to acknowledge that certain types of pain are just different. And having this happen with your mother has to be a significant pain. It's a pain that I have not felt precisely. I do know that when my relationship ended with the acknowledgement never being given, him never wavering from the fake stories and the blame shifts and the false narratives about me and all the things he said that were so unfair, and then it just ending like that. It felt so unfinished, and it kept me trapped for a while. That's what these types of relationships and this type of abuse will do to you. It will keep you stagnant. It will keep you trapped, feeling like you just can't seem to get over it. You feel like you're over the person. You've gotten past the fact that they're not in your life. You're not in love with them maybe anymore, but it's what they did to you. And it's that unfinished feeling of never getting that. I guess we have a natural urge of like redemption, of like righting the wrong. Someone told massive lies about you and said such hurtful things that you just did not at all deserve. And they never owned up to it. They never made it right. And it just feels so unsettled. And you have to just let it go yourself. You have to find a way to reconcile it with yourself, give yourself the validation, give yourself the redemption. That's the only way, because they're never going to give it to you, sadly. And I'm sorry, I can have all the compassion in the world, but for people that act like this, they should be very ashamed of themselves. They should, period. Here she goes. All right, she says,
I don't need your laziness in my life.
You were begging for it, though.
Your ability to blame everyone but yourself. I'll pack your stuff up. I'm very hurt by you abandoning me, but not paying your bills will help. I am very disappointed in you.
Oh, that's just deplorable. That's deplorable.
But we'll always love you. There's no reason you couldn't be home other than your stubbornness. You absolutely did abandon me, physically, emotionally, and financially. It's all good, though. Cutting you off and moving on.
Thank you. She says,
you shouldn't be happy with your choice either. It's one-sided and hurtful. Only reason you should be happy about it is because all your bills got paid while you did nothing but blame others. You assaulted me that night and said horrible things also. Don't forget, you're not perfect, but enjoy.
vile. She says,
Enjoy it all. I won't miss your BS turning your crap off now.
thank you. Finally, is it over? It's not. It's not over. She's not turning it off now. We have a few more slides, so let's ride it into the sunset, guys, okay? Thank you for being here with Hailey and me and Madre.
She says, turning your crap off now. Love you. Love Mom.
With a smiley face.
You better stop!
Wow. Wow. And then she just, needs to make sure that she made an impact.
Did you see my messages? Does that make sense? Do you understand now? Hello?
Hailey says,
I saw them.
Madre says,
Do you understand? Did it make sense?
she needs the validation. She needs to hear Hailey say that, like, oh, I see, I get, yeah, you're right, it was my fault. But it's not. So she shouldn't say that. And also, this is dangerous because this person's sneaky and she might be trying to get her to implicate herself because she says this.
You acknowledge that you haven't given me a penny and it's been a month? You acknowledge you assaulted me and said horrible things also?
Don't answer that one.
You acknowledge that you abandoned me in several ways? Just want to make sure because that's what's going on here.
The gaslighting.
You're wrong and being a selfish jerk.
Here we go, name calling. Nice. Class C. Dang, I name called her a few times. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just forgive me. It's hard, though. I'm so impressed by Hailey for that reason. I even can't help but call her names. Hailey says,
I never assaulted you. I only defended myself, and I stand by that. I get that I haven't paid you yet, but I also told you by the end of this month when you asked me a time frame.
so it's good that she's doing this, but you only do it a few times, and then you can just stop because they're going to make you do it forever. I used to do the same thing. I would just respond to the messages by clearing up every lie that was told and just stating the actual facts. But it doesn't do anything. It doesn't get you anywhere. They'll just repeat them again. They're not listening to you. They don't care what you're saying. They're trying to dominate you. And she says,
You did assault me.
See?
And said horrible things. You owed me before you left a month ago.
Hailey says,
I did not assault you. I defended myself.
Madre says,
You did assault me. I didn't bite my own back. Still have marks, not that you care. Could totally press charges on you, but won't.
lady. Hailey says,
I bit you while you were me.
Oh dear. No! Stop that!
the goal of it. Madre, okay, she clears it up. This is why, guys. This clears everything up. Madre says,
You were fighting with someone who was tripping and drinking.
Oh, we forgot about that. Okay. That gives you a right. Okay, that makes sense. Hailey says,
You had my head in my lanyard and under your arm. I thought I was going to...
pass away, basically. Madre says,
You assaulted me and said horrible things and have not apologized.
I was drunk and tripping. I attacked you, and told you to get out at 2 a.m. And you need to apologize to me for defending yourself against that. How dare you? Hailey says,
I was defending myself against someone tripping.
I like it. Throwing back one of her excuses on her. I love it. Madre says,
You should have just given me my keys.
again, like that would have stopped everything, right?
I was just grabbing my keys.
She says.
You owe me money. You abandoned me.
Swift change. I'm done with this conversation because I'm losing. Madre says,
You are stubborn and wrong.
Hailey states the obvious again.
Not an excuse for your kid.
Madre says,
You haven't allowed an opportunity for a discussion.
because that'll solve everything. That'll clear it all up. We just need to talk about why I did it. You just need to come to my house where you'll be secluded and alone and vulnerable to me again, so I can try to convince you and gaslight you into understanding and believing that it wasn't my fault and it was yours. Duh. We just need to have a talk about it so I can talk you into it. Hurry right over. Hailey says,
I've tried, but you haven't given me my space.
Madre says,
I didn't. You.
You did. You've admitted it. She said,
Was grabbing my keys.
oh,
I didn't. You? Was grabbing my keys you refused to give me, silly.
I'm scared. I am terrified. I want to go. Hailey says,
Me being gone while getting so many texts and calls isn't space.
accurate.
Madre, you've had a month of space.
Rush past that.
While I paid your bills. Only following up on plans. And you'll have all your space. No worries.
Hailey says,
But you still made the action of me with my lanyard. You made that choice. Drugs or not.
good job. Madre says,
You're playing victim. And it's weird, but okay.
no, you're playing victim. It's weird, but okay. It's pretty weird. All right. You're weird. You are weird, Madre. You're very weird by your own definition. She says,
You assaulted me and then said horrible things.
just keep saying it. Keep saying it. That's how you gaslight someone. Repetition.
I was grabbing my keys. You haven't discussed anything with me.
There's nothing to discuss.
These are all your assumptions and one-sided assumptions.
She was there, ma'am. Did you? Hailey says,
Whatever makes you feel better. But I know I didn't just bite out of nowhere. Me defending myself while knowing I felt
this is kind of graphic, sorry.
my air leaving my body isn't an assumption.
I wouldn't say so. Madre says,
Yeah, me grabbing my keys from someone who refused and didn't pay rent is okay. That night wouldn't have happened while tripping and drinking, and I'm sick of you playing victim about it.
sick of you talking.
Sick of paying bills while you play victim.
Stop then. Hailey says,
But them in the process isn't.
That was back to, yeah, me grabbing my keys from someone who refused and didn't pay rent is okay. But them in the process isn't. Good one. Madre says,
You effed up and should take accountability also.
nope. Nope. She says,
But you won't. That's fine. Didn't You just grabbing my keys. Should have handed them over. Anywho, take your spite and victim mentality and have so much fun with it.
Hailey says,
At 2 a.m., you were trying to kick me out at 2 a.m. with no car and no phone. I told you I was willing to do it all the next day.
Madre says,
Meanwhile, I'll cut you off and not be struggling every month.
Hailey says,
Just go ahead.
Madre says,
Won't have to deal with your crap and fall-throughs.
she says,
You and CJ are perfect together. Effing delusional. Alrighty, I want a date. You'll bring me the keys.
Hailey says,
Call me names. Yeah, thanks.
Madre says,
And your phone. To my work. Which day will you bring me my things? I want a date and I want my stuff and then I'll never bother you again.
Hailey says,
I don't know at this moment.
Madre says,
Figure it out, big girl. I want my stuff. The phone is mine too. Whatever, bring me my stuff to work in the next week. If I don't have it by next Wednesday, I'll report it as stolen, as you do not have my approval to use any of it. I'm shutting your phone off, packing up your crap, cutting your dead weight out of my life.
Great. Great way to talk to your daughter. Here we go.
You are manipulative and a liar and a thief.
These people describe themselves. With everything they say about you, they describe themselves.
You effed me over. You shouldn't have come home that night. And F you for holding that over me while taking no accountability.
Whatever. Then she wraps it up with this.
Love you. Always here for you, but done paying for your stuff.
Hailey says,
You told me to come home. Take that accountability. If you didn't want me there, you could have said no. That isn't my fault.
Madre says,
I'll tell my mom not to help you too much either. You don't get to not pay anything and F people over.
that's not your choice, Madre. She says,
LOL, you're ridiculous, Hailey.
wild.
Thank you for using one night against me and justifying it for your crappy choices. Just 'cause you can't commit to anything.
That's a low blow. That's a low blow. It's hard to take those blows from them because they'll say things like that in the end. I had some very below the belt, terrible things said to me at the end that stuck with me, that really cut deep. And they were hard not to react to. And I'm pretty certain I did react to a lot of them. I did. That's why I say Hailey's like, she's a saint. I don't understand it because this is enough to send anybody over the edge. Anybody. I don't know these people and I'm over the edge. I'm falling off the edge constantly. Hailey says,
As I said, it isn't one night. It's a buildup of the past 4 and 5 years.
Madre says,
Got it? Want all my stuff by next Wednesday. I will not reach out any further. If I do not have it, I'll report it stolen. Got it?
Hailey
This
says,
is okay?
Madre says,
That's great. You were going about it absolutely wrong for the record. Perfect. Wish you the best, Hailey. Love you. Super excited to not pay your crap or have to ask about the same things over and over. LOL.
you did that because of yourself. Repetitive as heck. So that's it. There is one more screenshot. It is not between Hailey and Madre. It looks like it's between Hailey and her grandma. So Madre's mother. So let's see what they say. Hailey says,
If this don't work, let me know. Thank you, Grandma.
Grandma says, KK, we'll try at lunch break. Thumbs up emoji, heart emoji. Hailey says,
Appreciated so much. I'm just really stuck right now, and everything with my mom isn't helping.
I don't know what they're talking about. She didn't put that part in the text. Grandma says, totally understand, heart emoji. I know she misses you, but she needs to not get mad if you don't text her right away. I have reminded her of that. That's one of the lowest concerns. Oh my. Okay, her grandma says, but when she doesn't hear from you, she fears the worst. I think she got that from me. Thoughtful face. If I didn't hear from the kids, I get panicked. No. No. Has Grandma seen these text messages? Has Grandma read these text messages? No. There's no way. There's no possible way. She said the rest of her family is normal. I cannot imagine that anyone's read these text messages who is normal and been like,
You know, she just gets panicked when she doesn't hear from you. I get it.
no, absolutely not. Hailey says,
I don't even think it's that anymore. I got 22 messages and 2 calls at 4:30 a.m. last night.
and what did those messages say, Hailey? I wonder if she's told her grandma that. That's crazy. Because then grandma says, grandma's kind of wholesome and kind of in the dark, I feel like. She's very innocent, it feels. Because grandma says,
I got one also saying that she hasn't heard from you and was so afraid sometime had happened.
and then she says,
Oops, something, not sometime.
oh, she doesn't know. The daughter manipulates her too. Oh my goodness. Madre manipulates the grandma too. She's giving her some sob story. I don't know where she is. She doesn't tell her she's doing all this. Tell grandma. That's all we get though, guys. Okay. So I went to the post.
The what?
I was looking for comments to see if Hailey had said anything about whether or not she had showed these texts to her grandma specifically. And she didn't say that. I did find one of her saying that she doesn't like kind of how her grandma is a little bit enabling her mom. And so I made a comment to Hailey asking her if she'd ever shown the text messages to her grandma, if her grandma has any idea nearly the way that her mom actually talks to her. So I did that. It's been about 4 hours since I left to do that. And I got distracted. And I did a thing while I was on there because there were some these comments. What was I supposed to do? I can't like I got trapped. I couldn't help it, and most of these comments were made like at least 13 days ago. So I'm just like stirring the pot again. But I needed to be stirred. Some of these people, the nerve. And now I have to share it with you because unbelievable. Let me just give you the ones that I was compelled. I absolutely had to. I had to respond. I had to. Let me. I feel like there's no way we read the same thing. Like, it's wild. Okay? So I started with this one because it led to a worse one. And this just kind of irked me. So I had to do something about it. This person says,
Why would you max out your credit card and then not pay it off? Not the best way to start your credit history.
now, that is a true statement. It's a true statement for sure. What it is not is relevant to this post. Absolutely irrelevant. It's absolutely irrelevant. Why?
Why?
In everything that you would have just read, would you choose to comment about that of all things as though it matters? That irked me. That very much irked me. So even though the comment was made 15 days ago, I absolutely had to respond. So I did. Guys, it's fine. It's gonna be fine. It's fine. It's fine. I can respond whenever I want to, right? The post is still up. I was still able to comment, so whatever. So I said,
This is really common for her age group, especially when they don't have very solid or sane caregivers to properly teach them about life. But even aside from that, according to Forbes, I literally got it from Forbes, 7 out of 10 Americans will significantly screw up their credit prior to turning 30. That's a staggering statistic. And with how we can see OP has been relentlessly torn down and berated to hell since a very young age by a mother who is abusive, quite likely mentally ill, manipulative, needy in a very inappropriate way, unfairly critical, incapable of self-reflection or accountability, but can project to the mountaintops, I'd say it was almost to be expected. Amongst the heap of other lasting effects and damages this woman's abuse is likely to result in for OP. Obviously, like, what? Her mom threw out the credit card job as another of the many desperate controlling tactics she displayed herself using 25,000 other repetitive times. Right? It wasn't about the credit card. When an abuser loses control of their victim, they have to try to knock them back down to believing they are small, stupid, inferior again, so that they will be easy to control and manipulate. Her mom does this desperately for 50 plus screenshots. She said some utterly disgusting things to her daughter, some of the worst verbal abuse I've ever seen in real life. I'm just wondering why the credit card in OP's name and OP's credit was what stood out to you.
You crush your wife during sex and your heart sucks. Boom, roasted. Awesome.
Simple, right? It was like barely 2 paragraphs. I mean, I did more. I said a lot more. Not to that person, but I did more. I did more. I did a lot more. I was in this rabbit hole for 4 hours. You guys didn't even.
Bruh.
Where were you? Where were you? But it was for a good cause. It was fine. It's fine, actually. I think it's good. It's good. Someone has to stand up for her. Someone has to stand up for Hailey. So, might as well have been me. Even if I was 15 days late to the party. I don't care. I don't. Better late than never. I told you how Hailey was like responding to all the comments. So she responded to this one. She says,
Well, I was paying it till she started asking for $400 to $800 a month.
remember in her texts, her mom had started asking her to pay money to pay back what she owed on her car that she bought for her, that she never told her she was going to owe money on. She bought it for her when she was a minor, and then decided all of a sudden that she owes money for the time she's had it. And she was not talking about the credit card. So Hailey had been paying her own credit card when she got a credit card at the age of 18. She got her own credit card because of all the pressures that her mom was putting on her. And in that process, and not really having a secure income at this time, which none of these things are relevant to me because they have nothing to do with what her mom was allowed or not allowed to say to her. That was absolute abuse. I don't care what she did. I don't care. But this is what she did. And it's very, I think, very normal. She ended up maxing out her credit card, trying to keep up. Obviously, you can't sustain that when you don't have a regular flow of income. All she had was babysitting and a headache of a basket case mother, and it didn't work out. So she ended up with her first credit card maxed out, and she was unable to make the payments anymore. So that is what her mom was bringing up. This is Hailey's card. It's Hailey's card in Hailey's name and Hailey's credit. Okay, so this is just very irrelevant. But anyways, when she makes that comment, she doesn't specify that she means her mom had started asking her to pay her $400 to $800 a month for other things. Doesn't say that part. She just says, well, I was paying it until she started asking for $400 to $800 a month. So she's saying until my mom started asking me to pay her $400, $800 a month, I was paying my own credit card, and then I couldn't afford it because I had to pay my mom. This next person that jumps in here assumes that she means that her mom was asking her to pay $400, $800 a month towards the credit card. So that's where we are here in this person's mind. So this next person comes in here and says,
Sheesh, how much did you max the credit card to? Hopefully it's not her credit card.
Why?
what are y'all concerned about exactly? Why? What was compelling about this credit card information that held any relevance once you read a few of the text messages? You wouldn't have to read too far. Let me be really clear about this. I don't care. I do not give a good gosh darn if my son were to rack up 5 credit cards in my name to the max, absolutely obliterate my credit, and not pay it back at the present time. I would be angry at him. I would be upset with him. Yes, I would be livid. But I don't care in regards to this. I would never, even if he did that, I still would never bring myself to be calling him an effing P-word, an effing a-hole, throwing him out of my house. No. And then just over and over and over and over, just harassing him about everything up and down that I could think of. Relentlessly. For 50 plus screenshots. Guys, does that make any sense to you? So why, is what I'm trying to figure out. Why are these people so concerned about her credit card? As though that gave her mom any type of footing to do any of this. I understand that the mom wanted that to pass as an excuse. Like all these things that she offered up is like, this is why you're at fault, this is why you're at fault, this is why you're at fault, this is why you're the problem and why I act this way. I get it. That's a tactic though. Does that really work on people so far detached from the situation? Like when they can just like see it in plain writing? I get why it works on the person being manipulated. I get that. Too close to the situation. You have a lot of emotions. You trust this person sometimes. But like they had so much context to read from. I don't get that. I don't get it. But whatever. So I had to try to like, I had to try to help them get it. I'm sorry. I started doing it on my regular Reddit, but then I was like,
I don't want to lose my post karma.
so I went on my other Reddit too and did a couple more. They're really mean people, okay? Just, it's okay. OP responded to that person that said, hopefully it's not her credit card, and said,
It's my own credit card, and it was a $500 card. Every payment was on time until February.
Okay. So then this smarty pants, smarty, they thought, you know what they thought, I think? They thought,
Maybe this person who has been talked to all like this, maybe I should poke at them and give them some more attitude and be really doubting of their story and be a jerk, you know? Because it's the internet, why not?
so this person says,
If it's only 500, then why is she asking you to put 800 on it? Too many holes in your stories.
oh, actually, Reddit user, ma'am, sir, person, maybe you're jumping the F to conclusions.
Rude.
Maybe. So maybe don't be so freaking rude when you don't know what you're talking about yet. You know, I don't know. So OP nicely, clears it up for her. She says,
She's asking me to pay 800 for my car and phone and crap. She never paid off when I was a minor.
that information lines up with what was in the other posts and the other text messages. And when you have that information and then you read that comment that she made, one up, it's clear what she meant. The other person clearly just read it and interpreted it incorrectly. Reddit. Oh, Reddit. You gotta read it right, okay? I'm done. I'm so sorry. Wah. Another thing. If you're on the internet and you're an anonymous username with an avatar and you do something really crappy and rude to another person and very insensitive, and then they very politely correct you and don't react to your assumption or your rudeness, well, clearly then you should just get mad and insult them and make it worse. Duh. So that's what they did. They said,
Whatever. I'm not going to continue to argue with a child
that's uncalled for.
that doesn't even remember what they posted, even though it's posted above all these comments where someone asks you about your credit card. Obviously the car isn't in your name or the loan isn't. So I hope she gets repossessed.
What? What is your point? Why are you here? What is your angle, man? Like, what? I don't get it. Are you... I think they're lost. I think they're lost a little bit. Well, they got -1 downvote, so there you go.
OP responded, I'm confused what you are confused about. I'm not even arguing with you. The comment above says, I was paying my credit card until she started asking me to pay for the car she bought when I was 16. I don't understand your confusion and would love to clear it up.
Hailey is literally so sweet. Like, there's a couple of times where she stands up for herself in here, but, like, not over the top. Like, people are jerks. I don't understand. This is the most blatant post of clear abuse that I think I've ever seen in my life. And such a clear, obvious separation line between who is the abuser and who is the victim, who is at fault completely. You can't be at fault when your parent abuses you. Mostly, overall, you really can't be at fault when anyone abuses you. There's one person at fault and there's one victim. Okay? So I just don't get this. It's wild to me. Why are you being so rude to someone who has just provided 50 plus screenshots of someone who's supposed to love her the most in her life being so utterly vile to her, and she's been nothing but kind? You thought you should just be mean to her more. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get people like this. Since doing this story, I feel like I have to help Hailey. And I don't like seeing people talking to her like this and seeing that no one responded and, like, stepped in for her. So I had to do it. I had to do it. I had to do it, right? Do you understand? You feel me. I know you understand me. I had to do it. I had to do it. Okay? So this person, to that very lovely comment, that very mature, straightforward, clear comment, that person decided to say, grow up.
You'll be doing it soon. So you have to pay for your car and you have to start paying bills. That's life, kid.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Just like so unhinged, weird. Okay. OP says,
And I did. I paid my bills to her, which
she doesn't need to do all this. She just goes on and explains herself, and it's sad. I hate it. So I need your guys' help with this because this is really weird. This is weird. I think this is weird. So this is what I said because this is what I initially thought. I thought the same thing that I thought about that one person's comment back on the first post. Okay, remember? I thought it was the mom, obviously, making Reddit accounts and terrorizing her daughter further. It had to be, right? There couldn't be this many people with that same way of thinking and coming out here to be rude to this woman, right? But if you look at the accounts, Reddit tells you when the account was made. And there's a history of everything they've, like, commented on. You can see the comments that they've made on other posts. You can see everything they've done. And these aren't brand new accounts. So unless her mom's really playing the long game and had this in the works for a few years, that wouldn't make any sense. So it seems to appear that it is not her, which blows my mind. But I didn't process all that through. That was part of the 4 hours I just did. So I still kind of thought that at this moment. Okay, and then I wrote this. I wrote this in a response to Hailey's last comment, the one I was just summarizing just now. I wrote,
I'm convinced your mother is making Reddit profiles to torture you on here.
She might still be. I think she probably is. I'm going to summarize it. I just told her that it's not a line sitting situation. It's not iffy at all. It is absolutely one of the most blatant abuse examples I've ever seen. And that there's no reason that she needs to interact and explain herself to these people because they're either abusers themselves as well. And they came here because it's so gross. There's people on Reddit. I found some weird spaces on Reddit for this where they were actually admitting this. But there's people that like to abuse people. They get a little thrill and a little kick out of victims and, like, further victimizing them. So if you're putting your vulnerability out on Reddit and you're putting that you've been abused and you're airing a victim situation, there's going to be people that are so foul that they're going to troll you and bully you on that post because they already know that you've been victimized already. And they want to now victimize you. It's like a gross, they get like ego thing out of it. I don't know. It's really freaking weird and I don't understand it. But I basically told her that. I told her that none of the things that these people are bringing up she needs to explain because they're absolutely irrelevant to the point. So I made sure to hammer that home. And I told her that her mom should be in jail.
Yikes.
And I mean it. And that then she should go to a mental health facility and take care of that. Because she certainly, and this is not, I'm not saying this to be funny. I very much take mental health seriously. So when I say this, I don't want it to be taken as sarcasm at all. She needs to go to a mental health facility. She definitely has something going on. That is the only thing that's going to help her mother. And I said what I said. I said what I said. Period.
And that's on period.
Now, what I think is really weird is that this next person I'm going to show you is even worse. And the fact that this person that was talking back to Hailey said grow up in her response. Wait till you see some of the language this other person uses and tell me if you think that that's a coincidence or not. Because like I said, I already looked at their profiles and they seemingly have been in operation for a number of years, both on different posts and different things, don't seem to be the same person. But remember I said initially, I thought maybe this has got to be her mom. All of these, they have to be her mom. And like, I just want someone to tell me that there's some way that I don't know about that could be possible. I don't think so. So let me show you. So this wonderful woman of Reddit, yeah. This is the best one. I responded to her. I'm going to read you what I responded to her because it's, she took a majority of my 4 hours, okay? She comes in hot, much like Madre. Just saying. So she says,
This is horrible. It's not the context, but the fact that you are airing all yours and your mom's personal business. Let me tell you this. When your mom is no longer here, you are going to deeply regret that you posted all of your BS on the internet, which never goes away.
She's 18, ma'am. This has just always been life to her. She doesn't come from your time. Okay, everything's on the internet. Duh.
I think someone needs to tell your mom that you're airing all of this so people will support your view of things without all of the crap you've put your mother through over the years for truth.
So I found that odd. Did you feel that was odd? Ma'am, how do you know she's put her mom through so much over the years? What? Do you know her? So that was weird. Of course, she could be just assuming all kids put their parents through some stuff. But like, okay. These texts were appalling. Absolutely abhorrent. I don't think she needs to be scolded for airing them, considering the nature of them.
I was this kid.
What kid? The one you're pretending that you know this person is?
But thankfully the internet wasn't around, but even if it was,
All caps, okay?
I would never hurt my mom this way.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no.
This is what I'm saying, guys. How could this be anyone but the mother? How on God's green earth could you read those messages and think about how the mom's being hurt? Ha! What is wrong? What is going wrong? I've never seen that. I've never seen that. I mean, once in a while you have those random people that are just way, way off the norm. And you're like, why are you here? But this is numerous people on, it's a fairly decent sized post. They got a fair amount of attention. But it's not huge. It's not like thousands and thousands. And I feel like there's some way this has to be the mom. And I don't think that makes sense because I can see that this person has a Reddit history. Somebody be really smart and tell me a way that that's possible. Has nothing to do with you being smart. It's not possible. Anyways.
Hurting her mom this way by sharing only the things she is doing and saying, which I'm pretty sure she has a good reason for all of it, since we have absolutely no clue what kind of hell you've put her through.
Again. Did you read the texts? I don't feel like this person read the texts. I don't think she did. She says,
You might want to think about removing this crap before someone decided to find out who your mom is and fills her in. This, to me, is the lowest thing you could have done.
No. The lowest thing that could have been done was already done, and that was her mother abusing her the way she did in these text messages. That was the lowest thing that could have been done. So, no, that's what's been taken. What are you talking about? I really liked Hailey's response. She says, I'm actually compiling comments to show her. I don't think that's a good idea. Because, one, it's not going to matter. Don't get into that business. Don't try to bring them proof of how they're wrong. Don't do it. Because look right here. This is an example of how people that apparently aren't even her mother, which blows my mind, can still look at this and think something other than what it is. So for sure, for certain, I'm 100% certain, I would be more than 100 if it were possible, her mother is not going to give a good gosh darn about any of this. None of it. She's not going to care at all. She wouldn't care if it was passed out to her entire family and then they all weighed in on it. She would not care. She would discount each and every one of them and make up an excuse when each and every one of them does not have a valid opinion on the matter. Because that's what they will always do. I ran myself ragged doing this in my last relationship. I ran myself nearly insane. Because I knew I had proof. I knew I had credible evidence. I knew I wasn't wrong. I knew it. And I had all the proof in the world to show that. And he didn't care. He did not care. Not once. It didn't sway him one little bit ever. No, that's useless. But anyways, I like the rest of her comment. She says,
I don't really care about my stuff being aired out, and she's posted things about me before on Facebook and Snapchat.
There you go. Whole comment irrelevant now. That lady's.
That were absolutely not for her friends to know. I've never put her through crap. I've dealt with being her emotional punching bag while she drinks.
Which you could have gathered from the posts.
I've been treated like this since I was 7, and haven't done anything to deserve the abuse and manipulation.
You couldn't do anything to deserve it. That's why this comment is deplorable.
I've told her multiple times I'm willing to have conversations with her, but she never calms down or wants to hear me out. She's called me horrible names.
That's fully displayed in the texts.
Told me she hated me when I was 10.
Well, that's nice.
Did this to me, and so much more. I came here for advice because I was simply lost.
She's 18, been treated like this all her life. This person, this is what I had to do this. I had to do this because this person responded to that message. All caps, okay? Wait, here. Let's take a look.
It doesn't belong on media, and you compiling comments to show her is not going to make anything better. I'm pretty sure you are no angel.
How the...
I know I wasn't, and most kids aren't. You should...
Who says? Since when do you know all children, ma'am?
Shouldn't be putting personal crap on social media. That's all. One day you'll regret this. Worst thing you can do.
This is a subreddit to put your text messages on Reddit. Why are you here? Why are you here, ma'am? What do you mean? This is exactly where you're supposed to put this. If you disagree with the concept of the entire subreddit, then get off of it. I don't understand. Why are you berating this woman? Tell me this is not the mom. Tell me this is not the mom. I don't believe you. I don't believe you, Reddit. I don't. Some wonderful person jumps in here and says,
Bro, you okay?
Bruh.
I love it. Then this person responds and says,
Are you? Grow up.
You're telling me that's a coincidence? 2 separate of the updates, okay? Under 2 different Reddit accounts, okay? And that other person, they said grow up to Hailey. Grow up. Grow up. Literally, this person says grow up to this person who commented to them. That's a coincidence? You're telling me that's a coincidence? That these 2 people, out of the small group of people that disagreed with OP and came at her, tell me this is not the mom. Tell me this is not the mom. I don't get how it can be, though. I don't know. I know there's got to be something that makes this possible. Back to them. This person says back to them.
You're the one yelling at an abused 18-year-old, but go off, bestie.
Bestie. Not bestie. Not bestiana. Alright, Susan. Susan 37, mom. In all caps still. She's still screaming. She says,
As of you know their real story.
as if you know their real story, basically. Do you know it, Susan? What are you hiding, Susan? And then she says,
Please, grow up.
again,
You're only getting one side. When you actually grow up, you'll see that. You can't judge anything without both sides.
here's the thing, Susan. Here's the thing. These are text messages, okay? And there's no sides. There's no sides to text messages. They are what they are. They're a conversation. Hailey's provided very little, very, very little commentary in the context of the posts. They're just the text messages. So what are you talking about? You're making no sense. Of course it shows both sides. What? I don't get it. Then she says,
The only psycho is you. Grow up.
with the crying, laughing emoji. You're not crying, laughing. You might be crying. You're probably crying right now. Because you might be embarrassed. I'm sure you're not crying, laughing. This is not funny. You're embarrassing yourself. And then that person says,
Please get mental help.
I think it's the mom, so we're just trying to hammer that home for her. And then Susan says,
Take your own advice. I'm talking to a child that will regret not having a mom in her life. What the F are you doing? The only one that needs mental help here is you. Go get some because you need it.
this literally sounds just like the mother. It sounds so childish, just like her. Am I crazy? Guys. Susan 37 mom is absolutely Madre. It has to be. I'm gonna look at her profile again. This is There's no way. Is there a way to get already used Reddits or something? Guys, this is so wild. It's gotta be her. There's no freaking way. I'm sorry. There's just no way. This person they're going on 2 years of Reddit. And I think she would know her mom's Reddit. Well, not necessarily. She might not know her mom's Reddit, actually. This one certainly could be her mom. It would be unlikely that both of those would be her mom, though. Although I have multiple Reddit accounts. That's possible. Okay. That could be it. They could actually both be her mom. If she already had Reddit, she already was using it before this, and she had more than one account. Because I do have more than one. I have one I use for the YouTube channel, and then I have one for regular use, so it's possible. Susan. Susan says. She's toned it down now. She does not have the capitals on anymore. Thank you, Susan. Thank you.
Again, you have zero clue if any of this is true or not. You are only hearing one side. That's the difference between an adult and a child like you. You don't see the real world, and you believe everything someone says on social media. It's actually pretty laughable that you are this immature. Have to call names to try to make yourself relevant. Grow up. You're definitely special. That's for sure. Probably have no idea what I'm even saying. Laughable.
3 crying emojis. Crying, laughing. Well, what's laughable, Susan, is that you don't understand how text messaging works. Okay? And her insults are just so, low level,
You probably have no idea what I'm even saying right now.
Well, I think he does. He's reading it. It's not advanced. It's normal, pretty regular. I don't get it. No, he didn't. His response is,
Okay, Susan.
I've been saying Susan the whole time. Anywho, that happened in the midst of her going through it with Hailey, okay? So then she decides to say another comment to Hailey, and she says,
I thought I knew everything and was always right too.
again, the way she's projecting all of this onto Hailey, who she does not know, she admits herself, we don't know these people. The way she's projecting things onto her like this, gotta be the mom. It's the same thing she did the whole time. Same thing. Doesn't even know she's doing it. Just out here, just willy-nilly accusing everybody else of doing what she's doing. It's so weird.
I had to grow up to realize that I wasn't, and no matter what the situation, doing this is only going to make everything 1,000 times worse. I am telling you.
All caps again.
This is wrong.
With 3 exclamation points.
One day, you no longer have a mother. You will regret this. But by then, it'll be too late.
She talks just like the mom. Why are you so invested in this, Susan? And on the most ridiculous side of the matter, why are you so invested in this? Why is this so wrong to you? Okay. So Susan, aka Madre, I swear, she says to Hailey,
I tried to explain to you how bad what you are doing is and how much when you finally grow up, you're going,
it's supposed to say,
to regret it. But you're just too young and inexperienced in life to understand. And all you're doing is making everything so much worse with this crap. But hey, you were too immature to open your ears and listen. Listen is in caps. So all I can say is, I tried. Have a good life.
Madre. That's Madre. It's in the texts. She kept saying that. This is literally her.
She says you'll find out the hard way what you've done and what a huge mess you're making of your life. At least I know I did what was right. As for you, ...
That is her mother. It's definitely her mom. And now that makes the comment that I wrote back to her so much better. So much better. I said what I said. She's gonna rip my head off and I'm gonna enjoy every minute of it.
Sit your ass down and shut the hell up!
Anywho, so then another person jumps in and says,
Well, I'm not young or inexperienced, and you're insane.
fair. Okay. With many crying, laughing emojis. She's not laughing. I know she's not. Now she's definitely lying. She says,
You're an idiot for sure. Talk about insane. I am an adult talking to an 18-year-old that for sure will regret get decision in the future. And what are you? An idiot that feels the need to call names.
Stop.
An idiot that feels the need to call names instead of adding anything of value.
instead of adding anything of value. Why am I not surprised? You might want to look in the mirror. Susan, do you know these people? She talks to them like she's met them before and she knows something secret about them. I don't get it. It's the mom. It's just like the mom. A person says,
You should go back and reread your comments. You say, no one here has all the facts. And that when you were young, you used to always think you were right. Apparently that didn't teach you any healthy self-doubt. Because you appear 100% convinced. You fully understand the situation OP is in. By the way,
I love this person.
OP does have all the facts. If the OP is being childish, she has an advantage over you. She's still actually young.
Oh, good point.
While your childish behavior seems to be permanently ingrained in your personality.
Madre, aka Susan, says,
I never said I always thought I was right.
Susan, that is a wild statement to make, considering you absolutely did. Right here. That's what she said. That's definitely what she said.
I thought I knew everything and was always right too.
Right there, Susan. Right there. Right there's where you said it. That's gaslighting. Uh-oh. This is Madre, guys. This is Madre. I know it. I know it in my bones. It's gotta be her. Okay, so then she says,
I never said. I always thought I was right. Do you read English as a primary language? In every single comment I made, I stated that nobody has all the information and none of this personal garbage should be put out there in social media.
it's... This sub is for that.
Only a bratty child.
No. No one would do that. Okay, well, there was like another weird person at the bottom of this post that did actually say something like that, but like that could be her too. I'm sorry, but like weird.
A bratty child airs all their dirty laundry between them and a parent, and only her side of the story is what everyone is commenting on.
Because it's the only valid side.
Stop being a dunce, and what I said to her was said to her. I didn't call her any names, and you just want to be a complete as nothing I said was said to you. You have nothing of value to add, and you only want to start trouble, which is typical of an immature person commenting on social media to try to look like a big know-it-all person, but what you really look like is someone that has zero value to add to a conversation, so they start calling names.
You're an idiot for sure. Talk about insane. An idiot that feels the need to call names instead of adding anything of value. If this is Madre, I'm gonna love it. So when you want to look like a big know-it-all and you have nothing to add to the conversation, you call names? Oh, okay. Anyways, she says, grow up and get a life. I wasn't talking to you, and honestly, I could care less what an immature fool has to say. This person says back to her,
Got it. You are literally insane. Sorry you don't have control over your mental health. I hope you get the help you need.
That's one way to go. Susan had to have the last word, though. And she says,
It's the mental health police. This from a person.
the way she's repeating herself? Madre.
This from a person that has zero value in anything they say. You should get the help you need. Like, put yourself away, buddy. You're laughable. Thank you for today's laugh. Can always count on social media keyboard warriors to give me a great laugh for my day.
Crying, laughing emojis galore. Susan, we know what you're doing. I wonder if Susan's her mom's real name. Could be. Maybe. She responds to another comment of that person's and says,
You act immature, so obviously you are.
and that person commented to her again and said,
This genuinely makes me doubt you're actually an adult. I've only ever heard teens constantly insult other people as immature.
right? Susan had to have the last word again and said,
Looking in the mirror again, I see.
But you still are not.
then comes my comment, okay? This is what I said.
Literally, what struck a nerve in you to defend this mother who rattles on for over 50 plus screenshots? Just abusing the absolute hell out of her barely 18-year-old daughter. And further aggress towards this young woman who came to Reddit and posted an absolutely appropriate for this subreddit thread post to help her sort out this nightmarish disaster that is her mother.
And then I dug into Susan's history and I found a very interesting post that she had commented on about a month ago, okay? And it was a mother posting messages from her daughter's phone, her 12-year-old daughter, where she was talking to her biological father who is no longer with her mom, okay? And the messages were just, they weren't nice. They kind of made my stomach churn. I didn't like it at all. And he was being a jerk. If we had to compare, okay, I would say that someone who got upset by that post enough to comment on it, chastising the father for the way that he was talking to his daughter, they would be absolutely blown away by this one. With this mother, the way she was talking to her daughter. Absolutely. There's no, that one is mild, very mild in comparison to this, okay? However, there's a part in here where I mention what Susan's comment was on that post, okay? So you can compare the different reactions. So I said, only a month ago you commented on a different post where a father spoke rudely to his 12-year-old daughter, and it was nowhere even in the same universe as how deplorable these messages from this OP's mother are to her. Yet, your comment said, he's a horrible father. My heart goes out to your daughter. But she aired it on social media. She aired her ex-husband and her daughter's conversation on social media, though. She says he needs to get his A kicked. Sorry, but when a father talks this way to his daughter, he's a worthless piece of crap, in my opinion. Okay. I want you to hear how this father talked to the daughter. I agree. I actually agree. I wouldn't go so far and say worthless piece of crap, because I probably wouldn't call anyone that. But I agree that this is no way to talk to your daughter. The fact that Susan was so compelled to comment on that, about the father being completely unredeemable, she called him a worthless piece of crap, but then be so rah-rah, shish-boom-bah on this one for this mother who was viciously cursing out her daughter, just relentlessly. I just think it's either that. I'll tell you what I think after this, okay? So let me just tell you what else I said to this lovely Susan, okay? I said,
And I agree with your comment on that post, by the way. But then completely inexplicably you read these texts, which make the other ones you commented on with the father to his daughter look very mild. And you go off on this young girl about how much she must have put her mother through to make her react this way. No. There is nothing a child could have done or said that would have ever warranted their mother to say any of these things to them. And sorry, people don't wake up one day and get upset and behave the way OP's mom behaves. This has been going on all her life. She didn't put her mom through something. Her mother had her at age 15, and then she didn't know how to be a mom, as to be expected. She ended up abusing her. That's still never excusable. Abusing substances, controlling, manipulating, and tearing down her self-esteem to hell and back, giving her things just to be able to rip them away every single time she needed to control or terrorize her. And the list goes on. It sucks that this mother had OP so young, and that is sad for how difficult I know that has been for her, because I too had my oldest son when I was 16. And I have never in my entire life, honey, never, ever spoken to my son or treated him in any way, shape, or form close to the way OP's mother treats her. And no, it is not a matter of how much of an angel the child was or not that determined that. And the cruelty in that suggestion, I just do not get it. And being a teen mother is unbelievably hard and traumatic at times, but that isn't the child's fault, and it isn't OP's grandma's fault either, who OP's mom blames for the reason she became pregnant. And who she writes took so much away from her in life by not giving her birth control at age 15. She says this to her daughter. Let's not forget that. Okay? In the text messages. I physically stood up and became exceedingly angry when I read that. You guys saw it? And that was not the only jaw dropper here. I actually had to share this with people in my household because I could not believe the severity here. So what is not computing?
What is not computing, Susan? What is it? It computed just fine for you with the father and daughter. What did you miss here? What is going on here? That's what I want to know. And then finally,
the perfect way for victims to get stuck in abuse is by thinking they should protect their abusers and keep it private so they won't hurt them by airing their business. Her mother is the one who hurt her and hurt herself. Reevaluate what is causing you to react this way, because I think you made a misstep here, and why you would treat OP so callously when she's only 18 with a mother like this is beyond my understanding. Truly. Why don't you just apologize? I think I get what you meant, and it would probably apply to a much different scenario of airing your business or dirty laundry of your family, things like that.
I think I said here,
A much less abusive mother. But this example, this was shocking. It seems like you have a good heart from your other post. Maybe something set you off and caused you to misinterpret the situation here. It can happen, but at least just make it right when it happens, because this was quite mean and just not accurate.
and that was it. That is what I said to Miss Susan, okay? Miss Susan did not respond to me as of yet. I did get a message back from Hailey on whether or not her grandma knows the full extent of these messages, and if she knows how the whole story. Like if she's seen all these messages, she's seen how her mom treats her in the fullest extent. And her answer was, I've sent all of the messages to my grandma. So that answer, I believe, says yes. And that makes that last exchange with her and her grandma even more unsettling, because it was really glazed over and made to seem kind of like normal. And it's anything but normal. So, but people don't tend to get the way they are just all by themselves. You know, they're a product of their environment mixed with their choices. And it sounds like grandma is a bit of an enabler. A big enabler. And that's, yeah, it's unfortunate. Just a couple more that stood out. Somebody, I had to respond to this guy too. Or girl, I don't know who it is. But they said,
Here we go. More out of context screenshots. Calling a parent that paid your bills toxic when you are really an entitled poop.
You did not read these text messages clearly. So I had to tell them that. I was like,
LMAO. Out of context. She gave you 50 plus screenshots of context. If you don't feel like reading them, just say that. You know, simple. They are highly stressful and very repetitive. And abusive. All 100% because the mother So it's quite clear that OP was not entitled. She never once makes a fuss to her mom to pay her bills, or makes a fuss about her threatening 20,000 times.
That is nearly an accurate number.
To stop. Her mom isn't just toxic. Her mom is a violent, manipulative, mentally ill, and severe abuser. And this is one of the most extreme examples I have ever seen. There's no other way to interpret what is displayed. It is by definition abuse. So maybe don't need to bully OP more.
Okay. Thanks. Bye. Get out. And there's just one more I responded to. And it was somebody saying,
You forgetting to take the cat to the vet says a lot about you.
and I just had to say something. So I said, this is probably the meanest one I said. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not, though. I'm not, actually.
You coming here to make that comment says a lot about you.
Is that bad? I don't know. Anyways, so that was it. Okay. It looks to me, from looking at the activity on the post, that it is now been put to rest. Hailey's final notes on the incident.
My phone is finally shut off, and I'm going to mail the keys to her and get a restraining order.
That's where we're ending things. She says,
A little happy thing at the end. Thanks to everyone that was invested in this story. That is my everyday life.
crying face. So it sounds like not the most celebratory of endings, but for something like this, I think the best outcome that she could have hoped for. Whether you joined me for the entire 3 episodes of this crazy story, or you just joined me for this one, let me know what you think of this. What is your take on what happened? How would you have reacted? Has anything like this ever happened to you? Anything that you want to share with me? Love to see it. Love to hear it. Love to interact with you. Thank you for being here. You know I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And until next time. Bye.
Hey, listen!